Eugene Friesen is Cello Man, a Grammy Award-winning cellist and composer who teaches at the Berklee School of Music in Boston and who integrates the sounds of the natural world into everything he does, incorporating natural sounds and the songs of wild birds and wild animals into his music. One of his compositions is a captivating duet with a humpback whale. In a sense, Eugene Friesen's musical orientation is to go beyond the formalities of his classical training and back to our original state of simply being in the world, listening deeply and making harmonies with our fellow creatures.
For us, the whole notion of collaboration, may seem obvious when you're playing chamber music or playing in an orchestra. But then when you're actually creating music from scratch and trying to create a context that serves your community in a new way and maybe synthesizes elements that are new for us to our tradition. In other words, for the Western art music that we study, we don't really have any real footing in Arabic music or Asian music, and actually very little in the rhythmic traditions of Africa or South America either. So these are areas that I think contemporary musicians, no matter what their training should have in order to really reach out to these elements in our communities and create a music that really expresses our community.
You've gone beyond that because you've gone right back to the natural world, which we all share, and you performed that beautiful piece about the Japanese bush warbler that came out from the sound of. Tell me about how you got into the integration of natural sounds into what was very beautiful music on a cello, which is a very traditional instrument.
The cello is, first of all, incredibly versatile, and so that's great. It can, not only play a melody in kind of a soulful way. It has the sound of the human voice, which kind of touches people in a very real way in their bodies, and is also a great instrument for accompanying. It can be a bass instrument. It can be, because of the possibility to play chords, it's very guitar-like too, even harp-like sometimes. So it does have this tremendous versatility, especially when you begin to integrate other ideas from Africa, South America, and other parts of the world. But the kind of habit that I got into the idea for using recorded sounds from the environment really came from Paul Winter, who's been my colleague and my mentor for almost 40 years at this point.
And he invited you to come and play with him, and then your first big experience with integrating the natural sounds was the Gray Whale.
He had just released his album Common Ground in 1978, or 77, I think, which featured the recorded sounds of the eagle, the whale, and the wolf, the American timber wolf. And it was an album that also integrated a lot of different music, jazz, classical, pop, and world music kind of ideas. And he was working toward another album, which eventually came to be called Callings, which was a double album that used a lot more recordings of endangered sea mammals. So, and I think that this experience with the whales down in Baja was the experience that kind of set him on that path. Originally, I think that he was invited to bring the band down to Baja because of the Common Ground album. But then as he had these kind of encounters with the whales, I think that that's what got him to start thinking about doing a whole album of sea mammals.
And you came down and had your own experience.
Yeah, very much so. Well, it's at that point, I don't know that I'd ever been outside for more than a day or two at a time. So just to be outside for a week in itself was extraordinary. It's amazing what that does, isn't it? Just being away from walls. So that had a profound effect. And then being in the sun and the sky and in the presence of these whales every day. Anyway, a game changer.
Eugene Friesen, cello virtuoso, educator, and composer. This is one of our green interviews focused on the natural world and the arts, which also includes our interviews with the painter Robert Bateman, composer and guitarist Scott McMillan and his librettist Jennifer McMillan, and poets Brian Brett and Robert Michael Pyle. Environmentalism is often dismissed as grim and gloomy, but the gifts that all these green artists bring to us is a lovely blend of piercing vision, mindfulness, and delight. What could be more beautiful? For the Green Interview, I'm Silver Donald Cameron.